What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the PickSwap Media YouTube channel. My name is Sean Bernard as usual, and I'm excited to announce that for this video, we have partnered with WHOP.com, WHOP.com. WHOP is an all-in-one marketplace for sports communities and other digital products. If you're looking to find communities on all things sports, sports capping, sports betting, and sports fandom, head to WHOP.com/sports. They're the all-in-one digital marketplace, the Amazon of the future for digital products. I'm incredibly proud and excited to be partnering, so make sure to go check that out. You can click the link in our description and our comments. Thank you to WAP for sponsoring this video, and thank you to you guys for tuning in.
Hello again. Welcome back to the Flyin Style Podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Mitchell, back with my co-host, Stephen Masley.
What's up, guys and girls? It's playoff season, baby.
Yes, sir. It's officially playoff time. The Eagles will be facing off against the Giants at Lincoln Financial Field on Sunday. So, Mads, let's just jump right into it. What are your first thoughts on? First of all, actually, no, let's not just jump right into it. First, I want to hear your thoughts on the game that the Giants played against the Vikings.
So the Giants played if you look at the stat lines, Danny Dimes looks like a king. And my takeaway from it was Minnesota defense was abysmal. They didn't cover the flat whatsoever. It was all Danny Dimes got was just one read, and then he just took off running if he didn't have it open. And it was their Vikings defense was horrible in that game. If we play the same thing, I'm gonna lose our mind and we're gonna lose the game. But however, they look fantastic. Saquon looked fantastic in that game. He looked like a beast, man on the mission. And they look scared. They have a lot of momentum, and it's going to be an easy game. So, I mean, the Vikings have been one of those teams that have been in close games all year, and we're on fraud alert, even going into the playoffs. But even beating them in Minnesota, it was a hard task, and they were able to overcome it and do it. And I don't know. What's your takes from it?
Honestly, I was in between about whether the Vikings were pretenders or the Giants were pretenders, and I was going to use this game to, give me a gauge on that. And the Giants proved to me that they're not really pretenders. They did look good. Their offensive lines look good. Danny Dimes obviously had a great game. He threw for 301 yards and 2 touchdowns, 114 rating, high completion percentage. So, I mean, he had a great game. Obviously, Saquon Barkley did his thing as well. I think he had about 105 all-purpose yards, 2 touchdowns, and they just looked solid. And they looked like they came prepared for the playoffs. The Vikings have been pretenders all year. I think we've talked about that. They have talent on their team, but they don't have that. They don't have that leader or that talent to push them over the edge quite yet. We've talked about how Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback, but not a great quarterback. If they really want to move on to something, I think they have to move away from Kirk Cousins. That's just me. So, bottom line is, I think Danny Dimes has improved and proven himself. I've personally always felt like he was never as bad as he was given the credit for, because the Giants have had no offensive line up until this year. They drafted 2 big-time tackles, Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal, and now they're starting to look like a football team. Just going to further prove that it's won and lost on the line of scrimmage. So, my point to that I want to point out about this Giants-Vikings game is that the Giants did not have any sacks in the game. And that's going to be huge for this Eagles offense if we can play our cards right. We have the best offensive line in the league. We've proven that time and time again. Lane Johnson will be back and mostly healthy. I highly doubt that he's fully healthy, but we will have Lane Johnson back. And while I'm talking about Lane, I did want to point out a stat about Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson is 72-44-1 with the Eagles when he plays in the game.
Great record.
Yep, great record. And without Lane, It's a bit of a different story. The Eagles are 9-22, which is kind of abysmal. So
that guy's back.
yeah, I just want to point out how important Lane Johnson is and how exciting it is to have him back. And if we can give Jalen Hurts time to throw the ball, I don't think the Giants' defensive backs and their secondary can handle our receivers and our passing game. So that's my first thing that I want to take about the Eagles-Giants game. But I also want to say that the Eagles still need to run the ball because they've just ignored that for the past 5 weeks. So we still need a balanced game. We still need to, keep it rough-nosed and tough. We don't want to just, let them, pin their tails back and come after us all game. It's not going to work the whole time. So that's something I want to see. I want to see a much more balanced game plan.
No, I definitely do as well. But even just speaking of, I think more, I just want to focus on defense because I think we could definitely move the ball on this team. But if we can put up 28 plus points on this team, they haven't done it. They only done it twice this year where they put up more than 28 points. The Giants have. And if we can stop them and shut them down, I know our offenses can move. If we can shut them down and get pressure on Danny Dimes and honestly just have a spy on him, I want Kaiser White. Apologize about my throat today. Kind of cleared up.
Definitely did.
Have a spy on him just the entire time. Just make him make mistakes. Like their receivers aren't fantastic. They've been stepping up, especially Hodges. I didn't even know who he was before he caught that touchdown, but they have been stepping up and got shut down the run. And I think if we put the ball in Danny Dimes' hands and make him stay in the pocket, I don't think there should be a reason this game should be close. But that's a big asking if we can shut down Saquon and stop him from running. But I think if we let Danny Dimes just literally sit in the pocket, he's not going anywhere in our D-backs and cover the wide receivers.
I would like to say that shutting down Saquon is a big ask, but we've done it 2 times this year. Both times we've played the Giants, we have completely shut down the run and Saquon Barkley. And it clearly seems to be a theme with Jonathan Gannon when we play the bigger running backs and against other teams. We shut down their run game. When we played Derrick Henry, we shut them down. When we played Saquon twice, we shut them down. We shut down the Cowboys' run game. We shut down Dalvin Cook. We have a good track record this year of focusing on the teams with good running backs and making sure they don't get the run game going. Now, also in those games, we've tended to overcompensate a little bit because in those games the quarterbacks tend to also play very well. We focus a little too much on shutting down the run game that we kind of leave an opening for a soft zone and letting dinks and dunks get through. So
and they're gonna take dinks and dunks all day long. Is the only problem.
Exactly. So I'm excited to see what Jonathan Gannon has drawn up. He's had 2 weeks to think about it. I mean, obviously not just for the Giants, but I'm definitely excited to see how he's going to use our pressures against them. Danny Dimes didn't see a ton of pressure against the Vikings. And obviously this D-line should show a bit of a different side of that. 70 sacks on the season. And what else needs to be said? We got 4 guys that are dogs up there. We need to get after him. And we got to sack him more than the Vikings did.
Of course.
Danny Dimes. I got to stop calling him Danny Dimes.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about that as I was saying it earlier.
Yeah, Daniel Jones is he's a good quarterback, but I've seen him crack under pressure multiple times. He still makes some poor decisions under pressure. He's still he's not new to the league by any means, but he's not a veteran either. We just have to make him uncomfortable. We have to do everything in our power to make him uncomfortable. Take away Saquon, get after him, and try to make him beat our secondary because I believe in our secondary and I believe it is more than capable enough to play good coverage in the back. So 2 things I want to see on defense are shutting down Saquon. Obviously, I want to see pressure, and I just want to see us mixing things up in terms of either blitzes, which he doesn't do a whole lot, or at least throwing a lot of stunts at them on the D line because this whole year we have been fantastic at stunts, and it really is not talked about enough. Almost every time I see a stunt, it works. So I don't know why we don't run them more often. I guess, you got to keep it an element of surprise. But I'd like to see us, throwing zigzags at them and crosses and, confusing that O-line because that O-line is still young too.
Yeah. And I know Andrew Thomas got All-Pro, but he's not. I don't think he's an All-Pro. Um, that's just me.
Well,
Gosh.
when your running back, leads the league in rushing, or is second in the league in rushing yards, I suppose you can get a little bit of credit.
Yeah, I guess they get a little bit, but I hate him. Another thing I want to give credit to that the Giants did actually well on defense is they took away Justin Jefferson from that game. He only had 47 yards on the game, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong; it might be 43. But either way, they took him out of the game, and they're probably going to do the same thing to AJ Brown. If I don't know if they're going to try to do that or they're trying to take them out. I don't know. Either way, they took Justin Jefferson completely out of that.
Sorry about that, guys. We ran into some technical difficulties, but we're just going to pick right back up where we left off. So, Masley, you were talking about how Justin Jefferson, I'm sorry. What was your point about Justin Jefferson again?
Basically, the Giants shut him down, and they were using a safety over top the entire time, and they put all their focus onto him. My point was that if they're gonna do that to AJ Brown or Devonta Smith, if they decide to mix it up, if Jalen recognizes it right away, we can adjust that to our game plan, and use them as decoys, and have one-on-ones on the outside with the opposite person, or even Goddard throughout the middle, or Quez over top. It's they last game the Vikings had it in the red zone, and they had a wide open guy because 3 guys went to Justin Jefferson when he was in the backfield. I'm just saying. My point was if they're gonna do that to us, we just have to take advantage of it and make the best out of it that we can, and not make mistakes.
Yeah, we'll see. The difference between us and the Vikings is that we have too many guys that could be keyed on.
It's true.
We have AJ Brown, we have Devonta Smith, we have Dallas Goedert, we have Miles Sanders, and last but not least, we have Jalen Hurts.
I thought you were going to say Boston Scott because he's going to get a touchdown.
Well, we do have Boston Scott, the giant killer, of course. Everybody hammer that anytime touchdown line. But my point is that we have too many guys in our offense to key on anybody. If you key on one person, then it's going to leave an opportunity for somebody else, and you literally just can't do that because there's too many options to go to. If you put a spy on Jalen Hurts, then you're leaving that middle of the field open for slants to AJ Brown. You want to key AJ Brown, then you're going to leave either Devonta Smith open on the other side on a one-on-one, or you're going to leave Dallas Goedert, with streaking up the middle. And if you want to key on the passing game and play a soft zone coverage or like a heavy zone coverage, whatever, then we run the ball with Miles Sanders and we run the read option with also Jalen Hurts. So there's too many things to key on. I don't think the Giants are going to have the opportunity to put keys on anybody because with the Vikings, if you shut down Justin Jefferson, you shut down their offense, and that has become clear throughout the entire year. I'm pretty sure all of their losses, Justin Jefferson had under 50 yards.
Yeah.
So, I don't think you can do that to this team. It really is fun to say that because we just have so many talented guys that you really can't. There's no one to key on because it's just it causes too much commotion if you do.
No, I'm excited. I wanted to make a point about the media real quick, if I could.
Go for it.
If you watch ESPN, you would think that the NFC chip is happening next week, and it's the Cowboys versus the Niners. I don't know where all this talk's coming from, and then every analyst's hot take is that the Giants are going to beat us. I don't know if they all just have a script that just wants to piss off Eagles fans. I just really don't understand it. But I guess they forgot who we are, and I don't care they forgot who we are. Also, I wanted to bring up a stat. So in the last 16, so everyone's saying, oh, this is the third time that we're playing the Giants. It's hard to beat a team 3 times. Well, Matthew, if you bring up the last 16 games that a team has played someone 3 times in the playoffs, they're 15-9. However, at home, so I'm saying the better team, so the Eagles situation where they beat them twice and they're at home, so they're the better team overall, and they beat them twice. It's 12-5. Now, I'm not saying it's 17-0 because that's gonna be impossible for a playoff, but 12-5, it does. The better team usually wins is the correlation I'm trying to make, and it's not surprising, but for some reason it's like people think it's like impossible to beat a team 3 times. They keep bringing that up, like everyone just throws that in there. Oh yeah, Giants like 3 times, and I'm like, okay, like I don't see the point that like they're trying to make. I just don't. The media just been very just like undercutting the Eagles like completely. I don't know why.
I don't
I
think
think
anybody in Philly does. They've been doing it all year. They, like they just haven't talked about how good the Eagles have done all year. We were 10-0 and we were never talked about on ESPN. They wanted to talk about how the Cowboys were better than us somehow. Unfortunately for us Eagles fans, Cowboys are America's team and they receive the most coverage. So, from a business standpoint on their end, most people want to hear about the Cowboys, unfortunately. And that's just what they're doing. But what I don't understand is just the lack of appreciation and just mentioning of the Eagles in general all season, let alone now. I don't get exactly what everybody's getting at in terms of like why they think the Eagles have gotten any worse. We have everybody healthy. Everybody's going to be playing. We've only lost one game with Jalen Hurts this year. I don't really get it, but let them do their thing because how we love being underdogs over here. So it is what it is. But to add on to your last stat about the the teams, the better team winning and the worst team losing, the Giants haven't beat the Eagles at home in almost a decade now. Let me just point that out for you too.
yeah.
The last time they won was October 27th, 2013. That's a damn long time ago, isn't it?
Stupid loser Giants.
So, obviously, I'm not going to say that I'm just confident in this game. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm not confident. That's the wrong word. I'm not going to say, this is going to be an easy breezy win. The Giants have a ton of momentum right now. They're playing good football. And on top of that, they are division rivals. This is not going to be an easy game, let alone the fact that it's just playoffs. No game in the playoffs is easy. Just take a look at last week when the Bills playing the Dolphins with their third string quarterback. You think that's going to be an absolute blowout, but no, it's a 3-point game. No game is easy in the playoffs. It just will not be that way.
Yeah.
And,
Ravens, same thing. They could have won that game if they got that touchdown instead of fumbling at the 2-yard line and getting it returned by the Bengals. Like that could be a completely different game.
Exactly. And the playoffs are never going to be easy unless you're the Buccaneers playing the Cowboys because the Bucs had no business being a playoff team this year. Bottom line.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be an easy game. I'm just going to put it that way. I am nervous, more nervous than I probably should be, just because it's a divisional game. It's the playoffs. There's a lot to be worried about, but the bottom line that I want to point out is that the Eagles are better through and through on offense, defense, special teams. They've got the roster, they've got the players, they've got the playbook. They really just have to execute. That's the bottom line. If they execute, we've said this before, there's no team in the league that should or will beat them. And it's really just up to them if they're going to stay disciplined, play hard for all 4 quarters, and do what they're supposed to.
100%. Brian Duvall's a great coach, and I'm sure he's going to have an excellent campaign coming in here. But our talent is just so much better, and it's.
You just call him Brian Duvall?
What's his fucking name?
Brian Dabble.
Brian Dable. Sorry. What am I saying? Dude,
Duvall. Dougie P. Let's go.
That was funny.
All right. Let's we know what we expect from the Eagles. We know how we think this game's gonna go. So what's your score prediction for this game?
My score prediction is 31-17. I don't see us I see us being hyped up for this game. And I know that a lot of people are expecting Russ to come out when we first start playing because we've been off 2 weeks. I think the Giants are just on our high horse. I watched a speech that Brian Dable gave after the game saying, I still said his name wrong. I don't care never mind.
Let's keep that to yourself.
they even after the game, they're like, see you Wednesday. Like, gave them off Tuesday, as if they're not playing on Saturday. Like, I guess they're just trying to. I know
Oh,
that
are we the Saturday game?
we're Saturday night, baby.
Oh, my apologies to everybody. I actually said Sunday this morning earlier on in the video. So
Oh, no, it's
yeah,
okay.
you didn't
Yeah,
correct
we're
me, so I
Saturday
assumed
night.
I was right.
Saturday night, get it right.
All right, awesome.
I think we're gonna be coming out very strong, and I think the first half we're gonna capitalize on. I think we're just gonna run away with the game. I think they get a couple scores in the third and late in the second, but I'm excited. I think we should handle this game pretty decently. That's a bold score prediction saying we're gonna win by 2 touchdowns, but I like it.
You know, I obviously want to agree with you, but my heart's telling me I cannot. I do think this is going to be a closer game. And to be honest, I think the score is going to end up coming down 27-24 for the Eagles. I obviously don't think the Eagles are going to lose this game, but the way I see it going is I think we're going to come out hot. I think we're going to score on our first drive, maybe even our second. We're going to look hot right out of the gates, and I think we're going to slow down a little bit, and I think that's going to give them a chance to jump back into the game. And then by the last quarter, it's going to be a nail biter a little bit.
Yeah.
So I just based off the fact that it's playoffs, they're hot, divisional game. I can't see a blowout happening as much as I want to. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go 27-24 Eagles on that one. So with all that being said, let's jump into our pick session again. So after last week, our updated records are for yours truly 29, 36, and 3. And for Masley over here, we got 24, 41, and 3. So Masley now sits 5 games back. Same as last week. You're running out of room, Maz.
Running out of room. Running out of traction,
This is the week that Masley's going to get his comeback here, though. So let's hear your picks for this week.
All right. So what I'm going to start off with, I have to change this to the Cowboys now. I'm starting off with the Eagles. I'm taking a -7.5. I think this game, as much as the Eagles fan, I think we're probably going to lose in the first round because I hate being happy and optimistic, and we'll probably just lose, and I won't have any happiness anymore for the rest of the season. I think that theoretically we are a way better team, and we should blow out this game.
Please ignore Masley's pessimism. This is a common occurrence.
Hey, I didn't do it for the entire podcast. This is just a thought in the back of my mind I have to have, or else we're gonna lose if I'm all happy. My next pick is, I think the Chiefs are going to take care of business in the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars secondary is not good enough to hang up Patty Mahomes. I know they have a strong pass rush, but I think the Jags' time has come to a close, and I think the Chiefs assert dominance, especially in Arrowhead. Next pick, Bills Bengals. I think that both teams actually had a shaky games last week. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to come down. I don't like the number at 5, but I have to take it because I think the Bills are going to win. I think they're going to find a way. They'll probably win by like 4-3, but I think they're going to. I still think they're going to win the game, and I'm just going to hope it's more than 5 points. My last pick is going to be, I'm just going away from Brock Purdy. I'm actually just taking the 3.5 because I think that it's going to be a really close game. I think it's going to come down to a field goal. I think that both teams are going to show out. I think the Niners are actually going to win, but I'm just hoping that they cover because, my record is so crappy that I need to go away from that. So those are my picks.
Well, I went a little bit of a different direction from Masley this week. Started off, as much as it pains me to say this, I'm going to be taking the Giants plus 7.5 versus the Eagles based off of my score prediction. I do think it's going to be a close game. I just think the line's a little long. I do not think the Giants are going to win this game. However, I do think they will somehow be able to cover it. For my second pick, I'm going to be taking the Jaguars plus 8.5 versus the Chiefs. A little bit of a surprise pick there. Obviously, the Jags had that crazy comeback, but, Trevor Lawrence threw 4 picks. I know, hard to, back that. But I do think that Dougie P is going to write up a game plan that's going to keep this game close. Dougie P versus Andy Reid. It's going to be a master versus the protege. And I just think I do not think that I don't really think that the Jaguars are going to win. But the Chiefs have a tendency of allowing their opponents into games. And on top of that, the Jags, made that crazy comeback. They adjusted, made their game plan. And I just think they have good coaching over there. And I think they're going to find a way to cover that spread. For my third pick, I'm going to be taking the Bengals +5. Like Masley said, I thought the line was a little bit too high on that one. And I think the Bills and Bengals are a pretty even team in general. So I'm just going to take the Bengals +5 on that one. I just think they can cover that. And to be honest, I think the Bengals are going to win this game. And then for my last pick, I'm going to be taking the 49ers -3.5 versus the Cowboys. This one is a tough one, to be honest, because I do think this is going to be a close game. And I'm actually going against myself on this one because I predicted that we will be playing the Cowboys in the championship. I'm taking this pick in hope that I'm going to be wrong. I think that the 49ers are a better team all around, and I'm just hoping they can take care of business. But I do think that's going to be a hell of a close game, and I'm not sure if the 49ers can even cover the spread, like you said. So either way, I'm rooting for the 49ers. I want to see the 49ers win this game, and bottom line is taking the 49ers on this one. So recap my picks real quick. I'm taking the Giants Giants +7.5, Jaguars +8.5, Bengals +5, and 49ers -3.5.
And I'm all the opposite.
Hey man, this could be the 4-point swing.
This could be. I hope one of my picks are right, and it's all I cares about is the Eagles. Honestly.
Hey man,
let's just win this game. We can take care of business. I just want to see us come out firing. That's it.
Yeah, man.
Nothing crazy.
Not a whole lot to be said. They just got to come out and handle business. Bottom line, they gotta make sure they're game planning right, make sure they're staying healthy. Big thing. And they just have to play their game. Do not play down to the Giants level. Don't let them dictate what game plan we're running on the field. Just run our game plan and beat them as the better team.
Yeah.
So, thank you everybody for tuning in again. It's been another good week, and we're hoping for a big playoff win. And as you can see, Masley in the bottom corner is wearing a nice, handsome Flyin style T-shirt. You guys can pick that up in the. You guys can pick one of those up in the Pick Swap Media. You can get it in the shop. There's plenty around, all sizes. Feel free to support and rep us.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in, and hopefully we'll come back next week with not a very depressing video.
Yeah, that would be fun.
So let's go Birds. Let's get a dub, and we will see you guys later. Thanks a lot.